Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's video. We have an awesome one for you today, so stay tuned and we'll cover off some really cool information. Looking at something that we saw, it perked our ears because it's a trend we've been seeing. But before we get too ahead of myself in this video, I just want to introduce Joe. Joe, thank you for joining us this morning. Joe's a mortgage professional who's been in the industry for over 10 years. You live in Aurelia with your family. Joe is super knowledgeable, and better than that, he's is passionate about mortgages. So it's awesome to be on today's show, chatting a little bit about this article, this topic that we've just seen. So thank you so much for joining us today, Joe.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's great to be on this episode today. And yes, I am really passionate about mortgages, sometimes to a fault, I would say. But that is all good because that helps all our viewers today get just the information they need to make an accurate decision. So, Sam, you've been part of our Mega Mortgage team now for over a year and a half. You've really been helping a lot of our first time buyers and homeowners, helping them with their mortgage. You moved here originally from Ottawa area. So welcome to the show today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good today, Joe. Thanks for having me. I like doing these videos because I feel like I also learn a lot during these videos, but it's good to add a bit of commentary on what we've been seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this one specifically today, we're really going to need that commentary from you today because something that, we've been helping our clients with their mortgages, helping them buy their homes this year. And we've been seeing that home prices have been really accelerating this year. And a lot of people have been talking about, has the market cooled or is it going to cool?
Right. Hmm.
So one of the articles today, it's actually not an article, it's a Reddit post. So let's just dive right into it. You can see these folks, they're unable to sell a home to break even. And you might be thinking, is this a Canadian post? Is this a American post? Well, this is in fact an Ontario, Canada post. So let's just take a look and see what these buyers are running into.
Hmm.
So they bought 6 months ago at the height of the pandemic, and that would have been, I'm guessing, February, maybe March 2021.
Hmm.
They bought hours away from work, which is Toronto, and we were both working from home. We've been seeing that a lot, Sam, right? People have been transitioning to work from home.
Absolutely. We've seen a huge trend. And I mean, if you've watched any of our previous videos or you've been having a pulse on the market, it's also triggered a lot of housing increases in other areas because of people leaving Toronto. So this is very much, it's not an uncommon situation at all.
Yeah. So, a lot of people are in the same exact situation. And
Hmm.
now all of a sudden, these folks are being called back to work full time.
Hmm.
And September here for the spouse. So they've listed their home that they bought 6 months ago. And, these homes that were listed 6 months ago were flying
Yeah.
so quickly that if you were to even see the for sale sign, it would be sold by that point.
That's right. Yeah, we saw a very aggressive market where houses were not on the market long, right?
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But I'm thinking, what happened to these folks? Did they move too far away from home that now they can't make this work even if they can't sell their home? Is that the idea? They won't be able to commute?
Yeah, it doesn't specify how many hours away, but it sounds like, commuting is maybe not an option or not something that they're interested or is feasible for them.
It does seem like it is hours away. So maybe they could have bought 3 or 4 hours away. So commuting into work is not going to be an option, like you're saying. So something
Hmm.
they could have done is maybe bought only an hour or two away. That way, at least if they were called into work, they could make it happen once in a while, or at least
Hmm.
on a temporary basis.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It was also a trend that they were jumping on too, while everyone else was jumping on it as well. So,
Yes, yeah, and that's something dangerous that we have seen since, COVID is everybody, especially with the housing market in general, what kind of fueled a bit of the fire, like you're saying, back in the spring was that, trend hopping or fear of missing out on all these houses are getting scooped up. Like, we need to get it now and, just take the jump. And we're seeing that, it's not always the best option to hop on those trends.
No, it is not. Mm, And it looks like these folks might have to sell their house at a loss to get out of the home because
Wow.
it seems like the housing market just has cooled, I guess, in this area. Maybe there's multiple people doing this at the same time right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens this fall as, you know,
Mm-hmm.
stories like this unfold. Will this create opportunity in certain pockets and maybe large demand in the Toronto area?
Yeah, that's right. It could turn into good news for, buyers in these more rural pockets where, Toronto residents or former Toronto residents have purchased the homes that, they might need to be moving back, which we could see some open availability.
I could totally see that. Well, I guess we'll have to keep a pulse on this, you and I, Sam, as we
Hmm.
walk through these next, 6 months, 12 months, and see what develops in this market. One of the things is that if these folks are looking to sell that home, they shouldn't anchor themselves to a specific price.
That's right.
So if they need to get out of the market, maybe they'll need to adjust their price so they can get out before it cools off too much. Because sometimes if it cools off too much, they might lose some more money if that's the case, if it doesn't pick back up.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. And we've been seeing houses that, they're also not really going for, crazy amounts over the list price. It's starting to become a bit closer to list price, a bit more reasonable. So again, that could be another issue in, where they're considering it a loss is they're not receiving that, additional offer over the list price.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, if any of you have enjoyed this video and have any comments, do leave us a comment below. Or if you have any suggestions for new videos, we'd love to hear from you. And if you have a question where Sam and I or Tara Lane can speak to your financial situation, set a time to go through it with us, and we can definitely advise you through that. So in the meantime, thanks
Mhm.
for watching, and we hope you have a great day.